Hello, friends. There comes a time in everyone's life when the road we plan to travel takes a sharp turn, a turn we never saw coming, a turn we never wanted. Maybe you've lost a job, maybe a relationship ended, maybe life threw you a curveball so big it feels impossible to swing back. But I'm here to tell you this: it's okay. It's okay because life will always come with unexpected challenges. What's not okay is resisting the truth of where you are. There is power in simply accepting the situation. Now, let me be clear. When I say accept the situation, I'm not telling you to give up. No, acceptance is not about surrendering to defeat. It's about recognizing the reality in front of you so you can find your strength, gather your courage, and make a way forward. When you accept the situation, you free yourself from the shackles of why me, and if only those are questions that trap you in the past. They block your blessings because they keep you focused on what could have been instead of what can be. And friends, trust me, there is always something that can be. Always. I want you to think about this: growth doesn't come from things going perfectly. Growth comes from how we rise when life knocks us down. It's in the moments of doubt, fear, and confusion that you find out just how strong you are. But you cannot rise if you refuse to look at what's in front of you. When you fight the situation, when you resist what is, you are giving away your power. You are letting frustration, fear, and denial take control. But when you accept it, you shift the energy. You take the power back. You say, this is what I'm dealing with, and I'm going to find a way. And with that acceptance comes peace. There's a peace in knowing that even though things may not be what you wanted, you are still standing. There's peace in knowing that you don't have to have all the answers right now. You just have to be open to finding them. Let me share this truth with you. You cannot control everything. I know you want to. I know you think you should be able to. But life doesn't work that way. What you can control is how you show up in the face of life's challenges. What you can control is how you respond to the situation. So instead of resisting the circumstances, use that energy to shape your response. There is power in acceptance. It's the first step toward creating a new path. When you accept what is, you stop wasting time fighting the past or worrying about the future. You begin to move forward with purpose, with intention, and with grace. In every situation, there is something to be grateful for. Even in your darkest moments, there is light. And when you accept the situation, you begin to see that light. It may not be a beacon, maybe it's just a flicker, but that flicker is enough to lead you forward. Acceptance is about resilience. It's about knowing that even though life didn't go the way you planned, you are still capable of joy, still capable of success, and still capable of finding your way. So today, my friends, I challenge you: accept the situation, accept where you are, and use that acceptance as your foundation. Because when you do, you'll find a power within you that you never knew was there. You'll find that you are stronger, more capable, and more resilient than you ever imagined. And most of all, you'll find that acceptance is not the end, it's the beginning. Life doesn't always unfold the way we expect it to. We create visions, set goals, and have dreams of how things are supposed to be. But then life steps in with its own agenda, its own twists, turns, and unexpected shifts. The moment we realize that not everything will go according to plan is the moment we're faced with a choice. Do we resist and fight the reality of what is happening, or do we embrace it for what it is? Embracing reality means standing face to face with the truth, even when that truth is uncomfortable or painful. It's about being honest with yourself, acknowledging the facts, and letting go of illusions. It's understanding that reality doesn't bend to our will simply because we wish it would. It is what it is, and when we accept that, we allow ourselves the freedom to move forward. Many of us waste time clinging to what could have been or what we hoped would be. We replay scenarios in our heads, imagining different outcomes, different decisions, different ways things might have gone. But here's the truth: the more time you spend living in that fantasy of what if, the less time you spend actually living in the moment. And life happens in the present. It's right here, right now, in the situation that you are facing. When you embrace reality, you take control of the only thing you truly have control over: your response. You stop wishing things were different, and you start looking at how you can make the best of the hand you've been dealt. It's not about liking the situation or feeling good about it. It's about recognizing that this is where you are, and this is what you have to work with. There's a kind of strength that comes with embracing reality. It's a strength rooted in clarity about what's possible and what's not, clarity about what you can change and what you can't. And with that clarity comes a sense of power. You stop fighting battles you cannot win, and instead, focus your energy on what you can do. Think about the challenges you faced in the past, the moments when everything seemed to be falling apart, the times when you couldn't see a way forward. What got you through those moments? It wasn't pretending the problem didn't exist. It wasn't denying the struggle. It was facing the truth of your situation, accepting it, and deciding how you were going to respond. Embracing reality doesn't mean giving up on your dreams. It means adjusting your approach to fit the circumstances. It's recognizing that the path may look different than you imagined, but that doesn't mean the destination has changed. It's about being flexible, adaptable, and resilient in the face of the unexpected. The truth is, life is unpredictable. It's full of surprises, some beautiful and some difficult. But when you embrace reality, you open yourself up to all the possibilities life has to offer. You stop resisting what is, and in doing so, you create space for new opportunities, new perspectives, and new paths forward. So the next time life throws something at you that you weren't expecting, don't run from it, don't deny it, embrace it. Face it with courage, clarity, and the knowledge that you have the strength to not just survive it, but to thrive within it. Because the moment you embrace reality, you take the first step toward creating a new one. Imagine carrying a heavy weight with you every single day, something invisible yet burdensome, pressing down on your mind and spirit. That weight often comes from resisting situations we don't want to face, pushing away uncomfortable truths, or holding on to a version of life that no longer exists. We might pretend things are fine, or convince ourselves that if we just hold out a little longer, everything will magically change. But all that does is deepen the struggle inside us. There is immense freedom in letting go of that resistance. Emotional freedom is about releasing yourself from the chains of denial, fear, and frustration that come when we refuse to accept things as they are. It's about choosing to acknowledge your feelings, your circumstances, and the reality in front of you without judgment or attachment to how you think things should be. When you accept a situation, you let go of the internal conflict between what is and what you wish could be. That constant push and pull between wanting to change something beyond your control and the actual state of things creates an emotional prison. You're trapped not by the situation itself, but by your resistance to it. But the moment you accept the truth, as uncomfortable as it might be, you set yourself free. You free your mind from the endless loop of why did this happen to me? Or how can I fix this, and step into a space of clarity and peace? Acceptance doesn't mean you like the situation or agree with it. It simply means you stop fighting against reality. And when you do, you open yourself up to a new kind of emotional freedom, one where you're no longer held hostage by circumstances you can't change. You stop expending your energy on futile efforts to control the uncontrollable and instead focus on what you can change: your perspective, your attitude, your next steps. That freedom also extends to your emotions. Instead of suppressing how you feel, you allow yourself to experience your emotions fully, whether it's sadness, anger, disappointment, or even relief. By accepting the situation, you give yourself permission to feel what you need to feel without trying to force those feelings away. And in doing so, you move through them rather than getting stuck in them. True emotional freedom comes when you realize that your feelings are valid, but they don't have to define you. They don't have to control your actions or your outlook. You can feel deeply, but also recognize that there's a way forward. Acceptance doesn't erase your emotions. It simply creates space for you to process them so they don't weigh you down forever. This kind of freedom is transformative. It allows you to approach life's challenges with a sense of calm and resilience. You no longer feel like a victim of your circumstances, but rather a person who is in control of how you respond to them. And with that emotional freedom comes the ability to think more clearly, make better decisions, and ultimately find a way to move forward, no matter how difficult the situation may be. When you release the need to control everything, when you accept the situation as it is, you liberate yourself from emotional suffering. You create space for peace, for clarity, and for healing. And in that space, you find the freedom to live fully, no matter what life throws your way. When life throws challenges your way, it's easy to feel powerless. You might think that by accepting what's happening, you're giving up or surrendering. But the truth is, there is a deep, unshakable strength in acceptance. It takes real courage to face reality as it is without flinching, without wishing it away, and without pretending it's something else. Acceptance is not weakness. In fact, it's the opposite. It's where true strength begins. Strength and acceptance comes from recognizing that fighting against what you can't control only drains your energy. It keeps you stuck in a cycle of frustration, fear, or anger, trying to bend the world to fit your expectations. But when you stop resisting and accept the situation, you reclaim your power. You shift from being a victim of your circumstances to someone who has the clarity to act within them. There's a quiet resilience in accepting life's challenges. You acknowledge that the path forward may not look like the one you planned, but you're still standing, still capable of moving ahead. It's the realization that strength isn't just about pushing through or battling against obstacles. Sometimes it's about knowing when to lean into the discomfort, to face the hard truth with your eyes wide open, and to say, this is where I am right now, and I'm going to find a way through. Acceptance gives you a solid foundation to build on. Instead of being trapped in a cycle of denial or wishing for things to be different, you ground yourself in what is real. And from that place of reality, you can make empowered choices. You can decide how you want to respond, how you want to grow, and what steps you want to take next. This ability to act from a place of truth rather than fantasy or frustration is a profound source of strength. Acceptance gives you a solid foundation to build on. Instead of being trapped in a cycle of denial or wishing for things to be different, you ground yourself in what is real. And from that place of reality, you can make empowered choices. You can decide how you want to respond, how you want to grow, and what steps you want to take next. This ability to act from a place of truth rather than fantasy or frustration is a profound source of strength. Think about the strongest people you know. They aren't the ones who live in a constant state of resistance, trying to control everything. They're the ones who have faced challenges head-on, accepted the situation, and found the courage to move forward, even when the odds were stacked against them. These individuals embody the strength that comes from embracing reality and navigating it with grace and resilience. Acceptance also builds emotional strength. When you accept a difficult situation, you stop wasting energy on resisting or denying it. You free up emotional resources that can be better used for problem solving, healing, and growth. Instead of feeling constantly drained or overwhelmed, you become more centered, more grounded, and more capable of handling whatever comes next. And let's not forget the strength that comes from vulnerability. Accepting a situation, especially a difficult one, often requires you to be vulnerable. You have to admit to yourself that things aren't perfect, that life isn't going the way you planned. But in that vulnerability lies an incredible strength, the strength to be honest with yourself, to face your fears, and to trust that you have the resilience to deal with whatever life throws your way. When you accept the situation, you're not just passively going along with what's happening. You're making an active choice to stop fighting reality and start working with it. And that choice, that decision to engage with life as it is, rather than as you wish it to be, is one of the most powerful forms of strength you can have. It's the strength that allows you to adapt, to persevere, and to rise above the challenges in front of you. In the end, strength and acceptance isn't about giving up or giving in. It's about recognizing the reality of where you are and finding the courage and the power to move forward from that place. It's about trusting in your own resilience and knowing that no matter what happens, you have the strength to face it, to grow through it, and to come out stronger on the other side. Adversity is often seen as something to avoid, something that disrupts our lives and throws us off balance. But if you take a step back, you'll find that adversity, while challenging, also provides one of the most powerful opportunities for growth. It's in those tough moments when life seems to be working against you that you are forced to dig deeper, to confront parts of yourself you didn't know existed, and to develop strengths you never imagined you'd need. When everything is smooth sailing, growth tends to be gradual. We move through life comfortably without much need to stretch ourselves. But when adversity strikes, whether it's a personal loss, a failure, or a major life change, comfort disappears. You're pushed out of your usual routine, and suddenly you're faced with choices you didn't plan for. It's in these moments that real transformation happens. Adversity has a way of stripping away the surface, forcing you to confront what really matters. It helps you identify your core values, what you're truly capable of, and where your priorities lie. In times of hardship, you learn more about yourself than you ever would when life is easy. You begin to see what you're made of, what you can endure, and how far you can push yourself beyond your limits. But growth through adversity doesn't happen automatically. It's not the adversity itself that makes you stronger, but how you respond to it. The key is to embrace the struggle as an opportunity for learning rather than resisting it or becoming consumed by it. When you face challenges with an open heart and a mindset of growth, you transform what could have been a setback into a stepping stone. Adversity often forces you to develop new skills or refine the ones you already have. It may be the push you need to get creative, to solve problems in ways you never thought possible. Maybe you have to figure out how to manage your emotions better, how to persevere when the road gets tough, or how to ask for help when you need it. All of these are opportunities for growth that would never arise if everything was always going smoothly. More than anything, adversity builds resilience. It teaches you that you can withstand hardship and still move forward. You begin to trust yourself more, knowing that even when life throws you off course, you have the ability to get back up and keep going. Each time you overcome a challenge, no matter how small, you add to your internal reservoir of strength. That's the real growth, knowing that no matter what life brings, you have the resilience and the inner resources to face it. Adversity also teaches you empathy and compassion. When you go through difficult times, you gain a deeper understanding of what others may be going through. You become more sensitive to the struggles of those around you because you've been there yourself. This growth in emotional intelligence can deepen your relationships, making you more patient, understanding, and supportive of others who may be dealing with their own hardships. In a way, adversity helps you redefine success. Instead of viewing success as a straight line or the absence of challenges, you start to see it as the ability to keep moving forward in spite of obstacles. Success becomes less about achieving a specific outcome and more about who you become in the process, the person you evolve into as you navigate life's twists and turns. While adversity may seem overwhelming in the moment, it's often in hindsight that we see the true impact it has had on our growth. You look back and realize that the moments of struggle were the very moments that shaped you into who you are today. They made you stronger, wiser, more resilient, and more capable of facing whatever comes next. Ultimately, growth through adversity is about transformation. It's about using life's challenges not as barriers, but as catalysts for change. When you embrace adversity with the understanding that it's part of your growth journey, you shift from a place of resistance to a place of empowerment. You recognize that every challenge is an opportunity to learn, to adapt, and to become a better version of yourself. One of the hardest lessons life teaches us is that we are not in control of everything. As much as we plan, strategize, and work hard to shape our lives, there are forces beyond our control that will intervene whether we like it or not. Letting go of control doesn't mean giving up on your goals or desires. It means releasing the need to control every aspect of how your life unfolds and accepting the unpredictability of the journey. We often think that the tighter we hold on, the more we can influence outcomes, but in reality, clinging too tightly creates more stress, anxiety, and disappointment when things inevitably don't go as planned. The desire to control everything can become a source of frustration because it places us in a constant state of resistance. When life throws an unexpected curveball, we fight back, thinking that if we just try a little harder or worry a little more, we can somehow fix or change the situation. But the truth is, the world doesn't operate on our personal timelines or agendas. There are too many variables in life, too many unknowns, and trying to control them all is like trying to hold water in your hands. The harder you grip, the more it slips away. Letting go of control is about recognizing that you don't have to manage every detail and that sometimes things will unfold in ways you never anticipated. And that's okay. Letting go of control brings a sense of relief and freedom. It allows you to breathe, to live in the present moment, and to accept what is happening without the constant burden of trying to manage or predict everything. It's about surrendering to the flow of life and trusting that things will work out, even if they don't go according to your plan. In doing so, you conserve your energy for the things you can actually influence: your thoughts, your reactions, and your next steps. There is a kind of power in letting go, a quiet strength that comes from understanding that while you cannot control everything, you can still thrive within the unpredictability. You learn to adapt, to be flexible, and to find peace in the midst of uncertainty. Instead of trying to force outcomes, you focus on being open to the possibilities that present themselves, even when they're not what you expected. This doesn't mean you stop caring about your goals or that you sit back passively. Letting go of control means you do your part, you take action, you make decisions, and you pursue what's important to you. But at the same time, you understand that some things are beyond your reach, and you don't let those things rob you of your peace or your progress. It's also about trusting in the process, even when you can't see the full picture. Letting go of control requires a deep sense of faith, not necessarily in a religious sense, but faith in life itself. Faith that things will fall into place as they are meant to, even if it looks different than what you had in mind. Sometimes what you think is a setback is actually a redirection, guiding you to something better, something you couldn't have planned for, but that is exactly what you need. Letting go of control also brings a sense of humility. It's an acknowledgement that we don't have all the answers and that it's okay to not know how everything will turn out. Life is full of mysteries. And part of the beauty is in allowing those mysteries to unfold in their own time. When you release the need to micromanage every outcome, you create space for new opportunities, new connections, and new insights that you couldn't have imagined before. Ultimately, letting go of control is an act of self-compassion. It's a way of giving yourself permission to stop carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders. You don't have to have everything figured out. You don't have to be in charge of every twist and turn. Letting go allows you to flow with life rather than constantly battling against it. And in that flow, you find not only peace, but the strength to handle whatever comes your way. Inner peace is not something you find outside yourself, it's cultivated from within. It doesn't come from having everything go perfectly or from eliminating all the problems in your life. Instead, it's about how you respond to life's challenges and chaos. It's a state of calm that remains steady, even when the world around you is anything but. It's the quiet confidence that no matter what happens, you will be okay. At its core, inner peace comes from acceptance, accepting who you are, where you are, and what life is presenting you in this moment. It's understanding that some things are beyond your control and making peace with that reality. You can still have goals and dreams, you can still strive for better, but your peace is not dependent on everything working out exactly as planned. When you stop tying your happiness to external circumstances, you free yourself from the constant anxiety of chasing something just out of reach. Inner peace is a choice. It's about deciding every day to let go of the things that disturb your mental and emotional well-being. Whether it's the opinion of others, the stress of a situation, or the weight of your own expectations, you choose not to let those things dictate your peace of mind. It doesn't mean you ignore or suppress your feelings, but rather that you allow them to come and go without letting them take over your sense of calm. This sense of peace is not about avoiding difficulties or pretending everything is okay when it's not. It's about finding stillness within yourself even when things are hard. Life will always bring challenges, disappointments, losses, uncertainties. But inner peace means knowing that you can handle those challenges without losing yourself in the process. It's trusting that you have the strength, the resilience, and the wisdom to navigate whatever comes your way. Inner peace also requires being present. So often our peace is disturbed because we're dwelling on the past or worrying about the future. We replay old mistakes or anticipate future problems, and in doing so, we miss the present moment, the only moment we truly have. When you focus on the now, on what is real and true in this moment, you let go of the unnecessary stress of trying to control what's already gone or what hasn't even happened yet. Finding inner peace means practicing compassion toward others, but also toward yourself. It's recognizing that you are human and you don't have to have everything figured out. You will make mistakes, you will have days when you feel overwhelmed, and that's okay. Peace comes when you stop being so hard on yourself, when you forgive yourself for your imperfections, and when you allow yourself to grow at your own pace. One of the greatest sources of inner peace is learning to let go, letting go of control, letting go of resentment, letting go of the need for approval from others. When you release these things, you create space for stillness, for contentment, and for a deeper sense of self. You stop being pulled in every direction by external pressures, and you begin to trust in your own inner compass. Ultimately, inner peace is about balance. It's about knowing when to push forward and when to surrender, when to take action and when to be still. It's not about never feeling stress or frustration, but about how quickly you can return to that place of calm when life throws you off course. The more you practice cultivating this inner stillness, the more you find that peace isn't something fleeting, it's a state of being that you carry with you no matter what's happening around you. In the quiet moments when you take time to reflect, to breathe deeply, to reconnect with yourself, you begin to realize that inner peace is always available to you. It's not found in the absence of problems, but in the strength you develop to face them with grace, acceptance, and calm. It's the greatest gift you can give yourself, the ability to be at peace no matter what life brings. When something unexpected happens, our instinctive reaction is often resistance. We push back, feeling frustrated or upset that things aren't going the way we hoped or planned. Resistance arises when we cling to how we think life should be, instead of accepting how it actually is. It's a natural response, but one that keeps us stuck, trapped in a cycle of frustration and disappointment. But there is another way, shifting from resistance to response. When you shift from resistance to response, you stop wasting energy fighting reality and start using that energy to decide how you will engage with it. Life is full of situations that are beyond our control, but what is always within our control is how we choose to respond. Resistance says, "This shouldn't be happening," while response asks, "What can I do with what's happening?" This shift in perspective is subtle but powerful. Resistance keeps you focused on the problem, on what's wrong, and on the unfairness of it all. It ties up your mental and emotional resources, leaving you feeling drained and powerless. But thoughtful response gives you back your power. Instead of reacting impulsively or out of frustration, you pause, you take a moment to breathe, to assess the situation, and to choose a course of action that aligns with your values and goals. In life, challenges are inevitable. The unexpected will happen. But the shift from resistance to response gives you a way to approach these challenges from a place of strength and clarity. You stop viewing every setback as an obstacle to fight against and start seeing it as an opportunity to learn, to adapt, and to grow. This doesn't mean you have to like or accept everything that happens to you without question. It doesn't mean you become passive. Instead, it's about acknowledging the reality of the situation and then choosing how you want to move forward. Resistance is rooted in denial. It's the refusal to accept what is. Response is grounded in acceptance. It's a proactive way of engaging with life, asking yourself, how can I navigate this in a way that serves me? The shift from resistance to response can also transform your relationships. When you stop resisting the behavior of others, whether it's a difficult coworker, a family member, or a friend, you open yourself up to a more compassionate and constructive way of interacting. You stop trying to change people or situations that are outside your control, and instead you focus on how you can communicate, set boundaries, or find common ground. This shift also brings you closer to a sense of inner peace. When you're constantly resisting, you're in a state of tension emotionally, mentally, and even physically, but when you move into response mode, you release that tension. You create space for calm, for reflection, and for thoughtful action. You may not always be able to control what happens, but you can control how you show up, how you think, and how you act. Ultimately, shifting from resistance to response is about choosing empowerment over victimhood. It's about reclaiming your ability to influence your own life, even in the face of difficult circumstances. Resistance is reactive. It keeps you stuck in the past or the future, worrying about what could have been or fearing what's to come. Response is present. It's about making conscious choices in the here and now. This shift allows you to become more resilient. When you respond rather than resist, you start to see challenges as opportunities for growth. You become more flexible, more adaptable, and more capable of handling whatever life throws at you. Resistance drains you, but response fuels you. It puts you back in the driver's seat of your life, reminding you that while you may not have control over every situation, you always have control over how you respond. Gratitude and acceptance are deeply connected. Often, when we think of gratitude, we associate it with the good things in life, the joys, successes, and happy moments. But true gratitude is not just about celebrating what's easy to appreciate, it's about finding something to be thankful for, even in the midst of challenges and difficulties. Gratitude and acceptance is about recognizing that every experience, even the hard ones, has something to teach us and that there is value in everything we encounter. When you accept a situation, especially one that's tough or unexpected, you stop wasting energy on wishing things were different. You embrace what is, and in doing so, you create space for gratitude. Gratitude and acceptance doesn't mean that you're grateful for the pain or the struggle itself. It means you're grateful for the growth that comes from it, for the lessons you're learning, and for the strength you're building along the way. Acceptance allows you to shift your focus. Instead of constantly seeing what's missing or what's wrong, you start to notice the small moments of grace and goodness that are present, even in hard times. Maybe it's the support of a friend, the opportunity to learn something new about yourself, or even just the realization that you're stronger than you thought. Gratitude is about seeing those moments and holding on to them, recognizing that even in difficult circumstances, there is still something to be thankful for. In moments of acceptance, gratitude also becomes a source of peace. When you stop resisting and accept things as they are, you let go of the frustration that comes from trying to control the uncontrollable. Gratitude helps you focus on the present moment, on what you have right now rather than on what you've lost or what you're missing. It grounds you in the here and now, allowing you to appreciate the life you're living, even if it's not exactly the life you envisioned. Gratitude and acceptance also deepens your perspective. It helps you realize that every experience, good or bad, has value. Even when you're going through something difficult, you can find something meaningful to appreciate. It could be the resilience you're building, the new insights you're gaining, or simply the fact that you've made it through another day. When you practice gratitude, you start to see that life is not just a series of highs and lows, but a complex tapestry of experiences that all contribute to your growth and understanding. This kind of gratitude doesn't happen automatically. It takes practice. It requires you to pause, to reflect, and to make a conscious choice to find something positive, even in the midst of challenges. But once you start cultivating gratitude, you'll find that it becomes a powerful tool for acceptance. It softens the edges of difficult experiences and helps you move through them with more grace and peace. Gratitude also connects you to a deeper sense of trust. When you accept and appreciate what life is offering you, even when it's not what you expected, you begin to trust that there is a reason for everything. You start to believe that every situation, no matter how hard, is part of a larger journey that's shaping you into the person you're meant to become. Gratitude and acceptance is about recognizing that while you may not understand the why right now, there is something valuable in every experience. Ultimately, gratitude and acceptance is about shifting your mindset from focusing on what's wrong to appreciating what's right. Even if what's right feels small or hard to see, it's about finding beauty in the imperfections, strength in the struggle, and meaning in the journey. When you approach life with this mindset, acceptance becomes easier and gratitude becomes a guiding force that helps you navigate whatever comes your way. Social support plays a vital role in resilience as well. Having a strong network of friends, family, or colleagues can provide the encouragement and guidance we need during difficult times. Resilient individuals often reach out for help, sharing their experiences and seeking advice when faced with challenges. This willingness to connect with others not only strengthens our support system, but also fosters a sense of belonging and community, which is crucial for our emotional well-being. Resilience also involves embracing change and uncertainty. Life is inherently unpredictable. And while it's easy to cling to the familiar, resilient individuals learn to adapt and thrive in new circumstances. This adaptability allows them to approach challenges with a sense of curiosity rather than fear, fostering a growth mindset that embraces learning and experimentation. Rather than resisting change, they recognize it as a natural part of life and an opportunity for personal development. Moreover, resilience is about perseverance, the determination to keep moving forward, even when the path is difficult. It's the ability to set goals and pursue them, even in the face of setbacks. Resilient individuals understand that failure is not a reflection of their worth, but a stepping stone on the journey to success. They learn from their mistakes, adjust their strategies, and continue to push forward with renewed vigor and determination. Finally, cultivating resilience requires self-compassion. It's essential to be kind to ourselves during tough times, acknowledging our struggles without judgment. Resilient individuals understand that it's okay to feel overwhelmed or discouraged. What matters is how they respond to those feelings. By practicing self-compassion, we create an environment where we can learn and grow from our experiences, building resilience over time. In summary, resilience is not merely an inherent trait, it's a skill that can be nurtured and developed. It's about adopting a positive mindset, managing our emotions, fostering social connections, embracing change, persevering through challenges, and practicing self-compassion. Resilience empowers us to navigate life's uncertainties with strength and grace, transforming adversity into an opportunity for growth. When we cultivate resilience, we become better equipped to handle whatever life throws our way, emerging stronger and more capable on the other side. In conclusion, the journey of acceptance is multifaceted and deeply enriching, encompassing the powerful themes of inner peace, emotional freedom, and resilience. By embracing our circumstances rather than resisting them, we unlock a profound sense of strength and clarity that allows us to move forward with confidence. Acceptance teaches us that life is not solely about the pursuit of happiness, but about cultivating gratitude in every experience, even those that challenge us. As we shift from resistance to response, we reclaim our power to influence our own lives, navigating obstacles with grace and adaptability. This journey fosters resilience, enabling us to bounce back from setbacks and emerge stronger, more capable individuals. Ultimately, acceptance is a transformative practice that invites us to let go of control and embrace the beauty of the unknown. Let us remember that acceptance is not the end, but the beginning, a starting point for growth, learning, and deeper connections with ourselves and others as we move forward. May we carry with us the lessons learned through acceptance, allowing gratitude to guide our paths and resilience to empower our journey. Together, we can create a life rich with meaning, purpose, and unwavering strength, ready to embrace whatever comes next with open hearts and open minds. Thank you.